Excitingly and unfortunately, it's time for a little pre-summer cleaning. Let's begin.
I know. Won't you come in, Count Esteban?
You know who I am.
But of course. You were the most handsome man in the dining room. And I was very lonely. So I thought tonight I would have an adventure. I will make the
How did you know I wouldn't run all this?
I took that.
You wander into the bedroom. You're drunk, we've done this before. You stumble over like 3 seconds later and you kick your boots onto the floor. I can hardly see your eyes, you forgot to put your hair up. I can see you've learned some tricks from those boys over in Europe, but still, it kind of makes me glad to see how quick we fall into those old rhythms and patterns. If you want it, you got it. You only want it when you're drunk. My friends say you're obnoxious. You're not so bad when we're alone. Morning comes and I know how the next part goes. One last dance, then you delete me off your phone. In the hallway, your eyes stay on the ground. But it doesn't bother me, cause when the weekend rolls around, then you'll want it, you'll get it. You only want it when your friends have all been bedded. You'll be outside, smoking on the porch. Come in, I'll say I'll give you shelter from the storm. Came in from the wilderness, a creature void of form. Come in, she said, I'll give you shelter from.
1 hour later. Coming at you live from my very clean, freshly mopped kitchen. I actually have a hair appointment today in a little less than an hour, just getting a trim, but I thought I'd do a little before. I always end up walking out of the salon feeling like so much more of my hair is gone. I'm not saying that my hairdresser cut more than we talked about. It's just when it's only a half an inch, it feels like a foot. It's Thursday, so there's not really much going on. I'm trying to get myself ready for summer as much as possible. And by that I mean because I'm gonna spend so much time in my apartment, I'm trying to make it as comfortable as I can. So the cleaning really helped. I think I'm gonna do some arts and crafts this weekend. I really wanna make bread. I tried to make this sourdough starter, but now it smells like beer and I think I'm accidentally growing pink mold. So I might just buy one at the store. Also, I really have been watching a lot of Sex and the City, and it makes me have hope that even if I feel like my 20s aren't that exciting, I'll have my 30s. Maybe my early 20s are just supposed to be a little bit selfish and full of discovery. Like how to make sourdough and hair appointments.
Yeah, it definitely feels shorter, but I like it. It's very light and a lot healthier than it was 30 minutes ago. I'm gonna go buy a sourdough starter. A storm's a brewin'. It's very dark and cloudy. So it looks like I'm gonna be inside this afternoon. It'll be a jolly old time.
I just finished making lunch. It's still really rainy, so I'm gonna hang out here, find a bread recipe. Nothing too exciting. And I wanted to say thank you to BetterHelp for sponsoring this video. I'm thankful to live in this era because mental health is seriously considered and studied so much more than it was, but it still feels like there's such a lack of resources out there, and BetterHelp really tackles that. It's so accessible. You can cater it to your schedule. All you have to do is schedule an appointment with a licensed professional therapist. You can meet with them over Zoom or on the phone, and it's a great way to check in on yourself, either start to heal from past trauma or keep yourself on the right track for the future. I think when I was younger, I used to be afraid of therapy because I thought having something wrong with you was a bad thing, but I think everyone does. And it seems like everyone's starting to realize that a little bit more, so we can just talk about it openly now. So if you're interested, there'll be a discount code for your first month in my description box. I'm gonna go eat lunch now. Alright, let's get this sourdough started. I looked this up online and it looks like it's going to be a lot longer of a process than I was initially expecting. However, I like lengthy processes. It takes patience, and that is a virtue. We're going to add this starter packet to a jar. Now I'm going to add a tablespoon of flour and a tablespoon of room temperature water. Cover the jar with a coffee filter or breathable material secured with rubber band and culture the starter in a warm place for 12 to 24 hours. I'm going to mix this together. It's like a little French lady. Homemade and fashionable. Hello, New York. Happy Friday. It's the late afternoon, but I finished everything I wanted to early this morning, so I've been relaxing. Might paint my toes. I'm waiting on a package from UPS. And they started doing this great thing where they'll notify you in like the 2-hour time span that they're coming, but that kind of means you have to be a homebody within that period, or else they'll take your package to a drop-off location. And there's nothing worse than knowing that you could have had a package hand-delivered to you, but instead, because you weren't home, you now have to drive to go get it. Anyway, let's start on day 2 of our sourdough starter. It's a very easy step. We just have to feed it with 2 tablespoons of flour and 2 tablespoons of water and wait another day. Now, in the first sourdough starter that I made, I was following a recipe that required, I think, a half a cup of flour and a third a cup of water every day. I wasted so much flour. It was just such a sad, disappointing process because every day I'd wait for the fermentation, I'd wait for the bubbles, I'd wait for it to rise 2 times, and it never did. The only thing that happened was molding and this rancid beer smell.
And I'm in your
Later that night, my friends and I made some dinner. My friend found this app that lets you scan the wine label and then researches the vineyard that it's from and gives you all the information about it. Kylie was not a fan. But dinner was great. We made a side salad, had pasta with this yummy vegan pesto. Sorry about my photography, it was sporadic. Eating corn. Lovely Saturday afternoon. I got some plums from the farmer's market. I wore my shoes out last night. Fantastic. There's something about a platform. I also spent a good bit of money on them. I feel like it was kind of like my first big purchase. Aside from my car. I bought my car. I guess shoes and cars don't really compare, but they're both used for mobility. So 2 big purchases to my name. Both very practical. One just makes me feel on top of the world, and the other is a Toyota Corolla. Speaking of cars, I have to call a car repair guy because there's something wrong with my front bumper. And I have this book that kind of guides me through life. And I think there's a page in there about making business calls. I don't know if you know those posts online that are about not being submissive when sending emails to people. And I find that I do that a lot. Like I catch myself apologizing and then I'm like, what? Why am I acting like a weenie? So I'm gonna try to be anti-weenie and call about my car repair after I do my dishes. Hi, I was calling about a quote you gave me on some repair that I needed for the front of my bumper. Okay, great. Well, there are still 4 to 7 more days before our sourdough starter is activated. But for now I have clean sheets, and I might just be a little devil and take a nap. So I'll see you soon, and we'll definitely be making bread, so that's good. I wish you a great week, and I hope you get everything you want and more.